Darian Durant is joining us. Darian, hey, Canada gets a 30-day reprieve. That includes. I don't know if there's going to be tariff talk when it comes to us doing our thing here, but man, it's been busy. Like it is. Ed Hervey in Edmonton. He's like Maz at Costco. He's buying a little bit of everything, right? What's your take been so far on what you're seeing from the CFL and free agency?
Well, first of all, with Ed Hervey, he's doing exactly what I expected him to do for a team that lost so many games by such a small margin. What he's doing is he's going out there, he's getting tough-nosed players, guys who in the fourth quarter you'll get that same type of effort. Bringing in Tyrell Ford along with re-signing of Niles Morgan, just gritty guys that know how to play, physical guys. They're trying to change the mentality over there in Edmonton, and he's doing a great job of making sure he puts the pieces in place to do that.
It's funny, Darian, you mentioned that Niles Morgan, and maybe a lot of people don't know him, but for as bad as the Eskimos have been, he has been one of the bright spots on defense. He had 111 tackles last year. He's just one of those thick linebackers. He's everywhere. So to me, that was kind of the no-brainer. But then there's also there's word that Royce Mechie is going there. And have you ever heard of a Canadian defensive back, if the numbers are true, that Tyrell Ford is going to get $230,000 a season? Like, that's quarterback money to be a DB in the backfield. Yeah. That's resetting the market, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And I mean, birth certificate in this case is so important. I mean, when you have a guy that you can put in the defensive backfield, pretty much a lockdown corner, that's Canadian, that can change the ratio, get you to be able to put more, American guys on the skill positions on the offensive side of the board. I mean, look, everyone's looking. You can see what the Riders did with Tevon Campbell. I mean, you're looking for that guy, that ratio changing player that can allow you to change things up and you can get more playmakers on the field. So, if the reports are true, I mean, kudos to him. He deserves it. Whenever you have a guy that can take the ball away, they deserve to get paid. And the fact that he's Canadian just adds icing on the cake.
Tevon Campbell. Can you go to that clip, Curtis? We have some clips of when he was playing in the NFL. The Joe Flacco pass into the flats. Jets.
That'll be the easiest one he'll ever have, I'll tell you that.
No, but what a great signing for the Riders. Like almost Canadian, like found money in a way.
Yeah. Whenever you can make things happen like this, and even when he was younger, he was running in the low 4.3. So an older Tevon is a 4.4 guy, a guy who can still run, who can still make plays. And like I said, he's a ratio changer. So great pickup by Jeremy O'Day and staff of getting a guy who can lock down one side of the field and also give you that ratio changer that you need to put other guys on the roster to make a significant impact on other sides of the ball.
We had a text come in to the Prairie Land Rentals text line at 936-6262, guys. And it was former Rams team manager Ed Bankowski, and he wanted to remind us that Tevon Campbell was a member of the Rams indoor track team when he was at the U of R. And also he dabbled in a little bit of the Canadian national rugby team. So a versatile guy. I don't know if you saw this one come down later today, Darian, probably just about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. Riders taking a stab here. This could be a little bit of a stab in the dark. Guy by the name of Wayne Ruby Jr., 6'1", 190 pounds. He's a wide receiver. Florida native. He was in the Ohio Athletic Conference and lit it up there over the last 3 years. Some really good numbers. What did he have? At 105 receptions, 1,785 yards, and 30 touchdowns to lead all NCAA Division IIIs in both receiving yards and touchdowns. So maybe a little project there, Darian. Back to your time. But sometimes you got to take a stab in the dark with things like that and say, you know what? I see something in this guy. He's probably not going to get a look NFL-wise. Let's bring him up and see what he can do.
Absolutely. This is what your scouting staff gets paid for, to find these diamonds in the rough, to find these guys who may have not had the grades coming out of high school, or may have been overlooked, may haven't developed their bodies fully, and had to go to a smaller school in order to play and be seen. So, this is a perfect signing. I think a guy, not much expectation coming in, but if he does, and he comes in and he provides depth, or, not only depth, if he's able to come in and earn a roster spot, this is amazing. So, great job by the scouting staff of just being able to find guys like this. And this is how you build your roster around guys who you can find that may be, hidden gems.
So yesterday, a lot of us Rider fans watching online getting FOMO, the fear of missing out, because Ed Hervey was going to town, potentially 8 players signed. And we're like, well, I know we signed Mike Rose. And last week we talked about Mike Rose and James Waters got released, and we really like them. Waters signs with Winnipeg, I think, on Wednesday. And obviously Rose, who apparently we didn't have the best money offer, but he wanted to come to me. So I like that. But here's the thing, and Darian, you mentioned this going back a year. We need a number 1 receiver. Kenny Lawler and Eugene Lewis still not signed. There's rumblings out there. There's teams involved, and there's offers out there. And potentially the Riders are in on this. We've always said this is the biggest thing that we need because we can fill the holes. Are you good with either guy if it was a Lewis or a Lawler that ends up in Rider Nation? Because I sure would be.
Yeah, I'll be good with either guy. Both guys are big-time players. Both guys, there are the 2 best 50-50 ball guy when the ball's in the air. They make plays from the slot. You can put them at wide out. It doesn't matter. You need these type of guys in the red zone that can make plays. So definitely they're my 1A and 1B. I don't think there's much separation when it comes to skill set with these 2. Maybe Lawler's a little bit younger than Gino. But when it comes to just playmaking ability, these are the best 2 guys out there. And I saw where Ottawa released Dominic Rhymes as well. I think he's another playmaker that may, be available. So, the Riders have options, which is a good thing. And, a receiver of that caliber for the Riders will definitely change that offense tremendously.
Yeah, I see now. I don't know who I like there more. If I had to pick, and it's dollars will be the similar, but Eugene wants, what is Eugene going to settle on? Is he going to settle on 250, 270, where Lawler maybe come a little bit more on the cheap? And then does he want to stick it to Edmonton or stick it to Winnipeg? If he does, then there's no better place than Sasky, right? If you want to stick it. Vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect opportunity for Kenny Lawler. If there is any animosity or bad blood there between he and Winnipeg, which I don't think it is, because he left, went to Edmonton, and then came back pretty quickly. So I don't think there's any bad blood there. We all know it's business, but, I don't see a discount coming in from either guy, especially Gino Lewis, who went from Montreal to Edmonton, signed a huge deal there, I think for over $300K. So, the price tag will be pretty steep for them both. But if you can get, 10 touchdowns out of either, it's well worth it.
Darian, when you were with the Riders, did you ever get to free agency, or was that always buttoned up beforehand and that you never went down that road?
Yeah, never had an opportunity to go to free agency. The year I was about to was right before the Grey Cup, and Taman came in and made sure that it didn't happen. So never had that opportunity.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it can be nerve-wracking, and you don't want to build any bad blood with organizations. So it's a tough thing to do.
Well, because here's why I asked. Justin McInnes. So if the tampering starts Sunday legally, and Justin McInnes, nothing, but then they sign on Saturday, wouldn't you want to wait a few more hours to see what the rest of the market may give you? Like, when you've come this far, like you're gambling a little, right? But it's interesting because there was a few guys that signed on Saturday. He was one of them.
And that's the thing. You don't want you kind of want to see where other teams are, what they're willing to offer, but you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you wait too long and then the money that's already on the table from your previous team isn't there anymore. I mean, the teams have to protect themselves, right? They'll put a deal out there. Either you accept it or you don't, and they have to move on. So sometimes it's better to just sign and stay with the team you have and be in a good situation for a few $1,000s less. It's not worth going to a situation that's maybe a bad football situation for you just for a few more dollars.
Okay,
there's going to be a lot to talk about this week into next week, but before we let you go, gotta ask, Super Bowl. Give us the Darian pick. How do you foresee this going?
Oh, man, I went back and forth, and I'm still going back and forth. You know, I am a huge Patrick Mahomes fan. I think that this is his time. This is his era. But there's just something about Saquon Barkley and what the Eagles have that scares me. You know, I kind of compare this to when Corey Sheets came to us, and we were good, and we had a good passing game. But when Corey Sheets came in and opened up the offense for myself, I had my best statistical season passing. He shattered records running the football. And I think when you have a game-changing running back, you just have that advantage. And that's what I see with the Eagles and Saquon Barkley. He's just a game changer, man. He changes the entire dynamic of your offense. He's one play away from hitting his head on the goalpost. So I have to go with the Eagles and that explosive playmaking ability because it just reminds me so much of what Corey Sheets brought to our offense back in 2012 and 2013.
Well, we'll figure it all out on the weekend, and then we can have a nice conversation on Monday.
Yeah.
Seeing how it all shakes down. All right, Doubles, thanks so much.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Right on.
It's our guy.
That is our weekly segment with Darian Durant. Quick break time. You're watching the Sports Cage. You're streaming at sportscage.com.